Shalom to all our precious viewers. Greetings in the precious name of Jesus. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. We give God thanks for being alive. We don't want to be ungrateful to our Creator or take life for granted. You know, we are living in a time where we are seeing so many deaths as we have never seen before. Death from coronavirus, accidents, murders, suicide, chronic diseases. But thank God that we are alive. And why we're alive is for a purpose. And that is the purpose to love God and to serve him. You know, I quote a stanza from a popular song. It says, I was buried alive, but I'm still breathing. I don't know what tomorrow may bring, but I got a feelings. I'm alive. There must be a reason. I was given one more chance. My heart still bleeding. This was my personal experience. This happened to me, but thank God today I'm still alive. Viewers, we want you to know you are loved, precious, valuable, and priceless. Care your life. It's a gift from God. COVID is still with us and reaping havoc. We want to appeal to you. We want to go as far as possible to beg you. Continue to protect yourself. Wear your mask. Stay your distance. Wash your hands thoroughly. Take the vaccine. Don't take life for granted. No, we are here to live, and we are here to live for a purpose. Let's make sure that we fulfill this purpose before we breathe the last breath. God bless you, and God continue to bless beautiful Guyana.
Proverbs 4:6-7 says, Solomon writing, do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you, referring to wisdom. Love her, and she will watch over you. Wisdom is supreme. Therefore, get wisdom. Though it costs all you have, get understanding. People are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Hosea made mention of that. When we look in our society today, and we will hear more about that, we see a pattern. And you know, patterns teach us things. When we look at patterns, we are taught so many things from patterns. And so those who are into research and whatever, they use patterns to analyze situations, and they could make predictions in terms of what may be a likely outcome. And so when we look at what this virus is doing to this country at this time, we could see that there's a certain pattern or a certain trend. And I remember the Honorable Minister of Health making mention now that the pattern is now that the young people between the ages of 18 and 40, they are now dying from COVID. That's a message. It is telling us that something is going wrong in a particular age group, because there was a time when COVID was rampant. We heard that it was really a disease that was attacking adults. In other words, the senior people were susceptible to the virus. Now there's a new pattern, a new trend. The people who are spending most of their time out of the house, partying, dancing, reveling, and having fun, this disease, this virus is now attacking those persons. There's a pattern now being set. And there's only one way that we could curb this pattern, and we will discuss further some of the issues and what we need to do so that we could change this trajectory that we run right now, a trajectory that is pointing to death and disaster. And so if Guyana is going to develop If we're going to maintain our human capital, well, then we have to change the trajectory. We have to change the trend that we are seeing right now as it relates to this virus. Gentlemen.
We're really not trending well at this particular time in our history. I mean, when the pandemic really started in 2020, around March 2020, you know, everybody, you're on your P's and your Q's, you're checking the cases, you're checking the deaths, you're checking those in isolation. And then after a while, we became lax, we became very comfortable, so to speak, so much so that people are just doing anything. You're just moving around as though this thing does not exist. And it's very frightening, that the whole notion of gradualism, you're just flowing or going with the times, whatever happens, happen. And there are people who would say, this thing can't happen to me, man. I can't die. And lots of people perhaps would have said that who are no longer with us anymore. But Dr. Hudson, you spoke about patterns and trends. And so I want us to just examine from January to present our death rate. In January, we had 12 deaths. We're looking at trends. In February, we had 31.
And we are talking in the context of COVID-19.
Correct. COVID-19. Thank you. January 12, February 31, March 36, April 65, May 74 plus as of today when this program is being recorded on the 27th of May, and this month has not ended as yet. Let's examine our numbers overall. Our cases 16,556. Those that would have recovered so far 14,144, which is a 85% recovery rate, and which is good, but that's not the end of it. This is a scary one because in the early days we had 2 and 3 and 4 persons perhaps in the ICU. Now we have 19. That number is startling, and we would just want to bring these numbers to you because we feel perhaps we would have gone into a period of being lax. We want to remind us that we're living in a real pandemic and we need to take necessary precautions so that we could get out of this.
I really appreciate the fact that you could share these numbers with us. And as is our custom, we would like to really activate a conversation that we believe is already in progress, but we want to join the conversation. We're not joining the conversation as scientists. We're not joining the conversation as experts. But we are joining the conversation because we believe that leadership speaks to the whole question of influence. And so as leaders in the faith community, leaders in the truth spectrum, we join this as community leaders. We join this conversation. And one of the questions that we are asking ourselves, and we want to ask you, wherever you view us, are we trending in the right direction? We are stumbling upon, rather than saying we in this regard, I am beginning to question why we are objecting. What are some of the reasons why we're objecting to treating better with this situation, taking the vaccine, uh, practicing social distancing, wearing a face mask, doing the general sanitization. Why are we trending? Is this a matter where we can say we're trending in the right direction? That is, things are improving. I am asking us, and at the same time, we are raising these questions rhetorically, asking you to ask yourself and to ask your family, to ask those you hang out with, are we trending in the right direction? And based on your answer, if your answer is yes, we're trending in the right direction, well, we could keep holding on and keep, doing what we're doing because we're going in the right direction. If we're not trending in the right direction, it means that we should examine what we're doing and change course, or else the matter will get worse. So that is the whole question. Are we satisfied? Court all the way from Geneva, you look at what's happening at home, and do you think we're trending in the right direction?
Thank you for the information, Reverend Anthony Bishop. Looking in from outside, from overseas, as we say, I like to use the analogy of dominoes. Everyone who's at a domino game, there are always guys around outside and knowing, hey, Bishop, you should have played the 6, you would have winning. No, Dr. Hudson, you should have played the 3, you would have won, Bishop. So all of us on the outside, we always know what should have happened, So me looking in from the outside as well, it brings a different perspective. When you're in the game, you see it differently than those who are outside. So looking in from the outside, from overseas, and following the news and seeing and speaking with your family, you get a different feel. And I know we're not trending in the right direction. Bishop and everyone else who are listening, we are not. Why? I have seen how it's been happening in other countries overseas, and I'm looking back at my own country, Guyana. And looking in from overseas, since last year when the pandemic was in its first peak, because there've been more than one peaks, I noticed a trend. Why did I notice this trend? Because I'm looking from overseas where it started, and I saw how it began little by little. When I was thinking, oh, it is in Far East, it's in China, it wouldn't come to Europe. And then when it came to Europe, it closed my business that I had started. And I'm looking in Guyana, didn't reach Guyana at that time. And based on my experience, I can see, I knew it was going to increase. I knew it. I wanted to put it on my Facebook page, but I said, no, let me see. And I saw the way we were going and how we were unlocking, how we were behaving, and all the videos I was seeing. I know we were trending in the wrong direction. I see we have secret parties. Why do you want to have a secret party when the government said this? You've seen examples around the world, and I know we go in now. Yesterday, I've read we've had 200-something cases when we used to have less than 100. So those are clear examples that we're not trending correctly. Now, Reverend Anthony told us, oh, we had 12 deaths in this month, 30-something in this month, and we keep going. And then we have 20. Now, the one number that stuck with me is that we have 19 or 20 in ICU. And then someone may say, America has over 1,000. Not New Zealand. New Zealand is trending well. India has thousands in ICU. And Guyana only has 19. No. Comparatively, you have to look at it. Guyana has less than 1 million people, 750-something thousand. So if you have 19 alone in ICU, you have over 1,000 or around 1,000 in home isolation. It's all adding up. The trend is not correct. The trend is not correct. And I will stop here, Bishop. Look at our trend and we can help each other.
Yeah, Reverend Asana, Dr. Lee, are we trending? How are we trending as a people? Y'all, you have an opinion and any advice?
I don't think we are trending well. As I look around, we give the impression that we're not we don't preserve ourselves well. I get the impression that we don't care as much. And if we do, then we believe that we are stronger. I use a Creole word. We are badder than the virus. And so we seem to be very lax. I wonder something if we like ourselves, because if you love yourself, you generally take care of yourself and you protect yourself. But we don't seem to want to do that. So it is worrying, and the direction we are going, if we continue to do that, will be detrimental. So I would like us to pause for a moment and just examine what we do, examine how we do it. If you walk down the road, you see me rubbing off spit on my face, you say, something wrong with Pastor Santa, man. Check him out, carrying him to the doctor because he's not taking good care of himself. Something is wrong with him. And that is my concern. Something seems to be wrong with us, man. We need to slow down. And in spite of all the things we like to do, recognize that there is a virus here. And if there is, how can I protect myself and family and loved ones? And if we can do that, then I think we will be trending in the right direction.
I add to the conversation. I believe in terms of where we're trending, I think we are not trending in the right direction. I think Reverend Semple made it very clear when he pointed out. We look to see the number of persons who were infected by months, and we also look to see those who were the number of persons who are dying. And so when you look at that, you see that there is a steady increase in terms of infections, a steady increase in terms of death. That could never be in the right direction, because no society will thrive if people continue to die. No society could develop if people continue to die. So the trend is not a good one. The trend is leading to a dead end if we don't reverse the trend. And I think what we need now is a trend reversal. And for me, what is fundamental to this reversal first is causation. What is causing this trend? And so once we address those issues of causation, is it people are not listening? Is it that they're indisciplined, non-compliance of rules and regulations? So once we would have determined the causation, and I think we fairly well know, people not adhering to curfew, people not complying with COVID rules, people just doing their own thing, expressing a sense of indiscipline, want to show gratification now rather than delay and wait, and so on. So the causation is there. So what we need to do now is to look. I don't think we need to wait until this thing come at our doors, because that is when people start to think differently. When somebody for them die, or a son, a daughter, a mother, people started to behave differently. And so we have causation. And so solution, let us deal with observe the COVID protocols that we said, hand sanitizing, wearing your face mask, all the protocols that are there. Now we have a vaccine that is able to protect you somewhat. Not that you wouldn't get COVID, but it will. This trend of dying, you could see a reversal in that. So I think we need to know, those persons, people in the society need to know, seriously analyzing what is happening and not listening to any and everything that you hear. You have to look for sources that are credible. But for me, what we need now is a reversal in the trend, and we are not oblivious to what has to be done in terms of this reversal. All we have to do is to simply comply.
Thank you, Dr. Hudson. Bishop Bussai, if I may add to the conversation, I believe we are not trending in the right direction at all fronts. Behaviorally, I think we're seeing where, because of behaviors, you're seeing that link where the numbers are going up in terms of people being infected and people dying. However, I want to give a little sign of hope as it relates to the vaccine, because we're talking about trends and patterns, and I commend the government and the ministry in supplying the vaccines. And in a recent interview, just under 24 hours, with Felicia Valenzuela, the Honorable Minister of Health indicated that so far there are 100 sites that are operating for the administration of the vaccine. And he further indicated that there were 187,000 persons who took the first dose and 58,000 persons who took the second dose. So my plea and our plea today is to let us keep that trend going in terms of solution, in terms of taking the vaccine, because we know it is very, very important as we seek to curb this whole virus.
Well said, Pastor Paul. I'm looking with the trending is that little by bicycle don't got brakes, right? We just riding some and they're going in a ditch. Look, we don't have the amount of people in this country that want to give their life up. You know, it's hard. It's hard. I have my family here, and I want me and my family to live long, have long life. Yeah, we want to live long, and we won't want to go on the road and see something happening. You know, and sometimes, you know, you're a godly person. You would want to give a hand, and there's the mistake you would make by going there. You know, Look, I tell you something. I'm sitting here and I'm just wondering, what can we really do to help these persons? Well, what we're doing here, we're trying to help them. But could we do something more? I don't know. Bishop, just tell me if we could do, what more we could do, Bishop.
Millie, Brother Millie, I heard you introduce a concept in our earlier discussion of an anchor.
Yes, sir.
I love that idea of throwing down an anchor. It gives me the impression of a huge ship that is being propelled by an engine or by wind, and it needs to slow down and stop. And the anchor provides that. And I think what we are actually saying to all of us, to ourselves and to our brothers and sisters, all those who are part of this program, is to slow down, stop, examine what you're doing. And in doing that, you will be able to change course, change direction, and do it better.
Amen.
W.R.A. Pilgrim makes this observation, and I want to say this together. We hail thee, Guyana, our country, our home, from coast to the hinterland, your wonders aboard. Your mountains and savanna lands, all will beauty crown, will always live in our memory wherever we roam. We sing of Guyana in village and town. We pledge our allegiance as onward we go. United together, and our strength we will show, and build a new Guyana, a land of renown. We love you, Guyana. Blessed will you be. Our flag will we honor, our motto uphold. Inspired by our leaders, our destiny will mold, and proudly face the future. Undaunted are we. I pray that we will set a course that will bring us success to ourselves and our children to come.
Amen.
Reverend Osano, you know, one of the things that I think we all can share the experience, we confronted it with when we do evangelism. You know, you share a tract and you tell people about the importance of making a decision for Christ. You know, sometimes the answer is, I am not ready, I have time. And I have had experiences where persons, you know, paint a picture where they will have the time and the opportunity when it's time for them to leave this world. They would lie on their beds and then they will make a confession for Christ. And so they will depart this world peacefully and swept into the arms of Abraham. So the issue about time, people feel that they have time. So My view is that persons are not complying with the protocol because they believe that there's an element of invisibility in their life. Nothing will happen to them. The second issue is that I know when I compare the coronavirus and the 1918 Spanish flu, in the 1918, we didn't have the preponderance of social media. And so there's quite a lot of mis and disinformation being perpetuated on social media. So people are just following a whole set of news that really doesn't make sense. Right, let me give an example. I mean, I saw a message that came that in 2 years' time, the persons who take the vaccine, will die. But I know I'd live longer than that. So, I mean, that is the amount of foolishness that people are perpetuating. And people who are gullible are believing these things. So the social media, the amount of mis and disinformation is lending to what we are having now, where persons are simply refusing. But I want to encourage persons, follow the protocol and take the vaccine. Amen.
And for those of you who might be afraid of the vaccine, it don't really hurt the body. It's not that fat of a needle. You just go and it's just a couple of minutes. You just wait and then you relax and you're going to be all right. Your arm is going to hurt maybe for a few days for most of the persons I've interacted with, but you'll be okay. So take the vaccine. Don't be afraid that the needle is too big. If you're afraid, what you could do is go with a friend that's going to laugh at you, watch you taking the vaccine. All right, look how you're crying, but that's all right. Take the vaccine and then go back a couple of weeks later and you'll be okay.
Well, in terms of the trend that we are observing, when this program is played, when it is viewed on NCN and YouTube, when you see it, several days would have passed. And it is very likely that the trend that we have observed will continue. That is, going in the wrong direction, is going high. We have to stop that. And you stop that by doing different things, by understanding that it is appointed unto man once to die. And if we believe we have some invincibility that will protect us against this silent but deadly enemy, we have another thing coming. We will discuss in the ensuing weeks some topics that we believe might have some bearing on this. Until then, please take care of yourself, be safe, and God bless you.
I'm Celicia on behalf of the set, reminding you that your whole life is the sum of your choices. God bless you.